networking, referrals, strategies for success, and real-life stories from professionals who are building a business based on relationship marketing. Welcome to the Caerusnet Podcast. Here, you'll learn how to stay connected in the local business community and become that person others get to know, like, and trust, and refer to. And now, your host, Caerusnet founder, Steve Zyskowski.
Well, I wanna tell you all the places we can go.
Welcome to the Caerusnet Podcast. I'm excited today to have with me Dr. Deborah Moerland from First Light Home Care. She's been a member of the Brighton Tuesday 8 o'clock team really since about the middle of 2020, which was, if everybody remembers, the year we all learned how to use Zoom and the year we all were kind of figuring things out. So welcome to the podcast, Dr. Deborah. It's great to have you today.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, we've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about during the time we've got today, so hold me accountable to keep us to the agenda. First question I've got for you, because I always like to just reminisce a little bit. How did you first learn about Caerusnet? You know, you're an at-home healthcare provider. How did Caerusnet get your attention? Who was the one that tapped you on the shoulder?
Well, I heard about it from Chaz, and Chaz has his own groups, but unfortunately he already had a home care person in there. But I had a care coordinator, Jeremy, who actually found you and said I should join. And so Jeremy said, "Oh, this, I think you want to meet with him. I think we could, grow the business a little bit by joining the Caerusnet out in the Brighton area because we have a territory there, but obviously we couldn't grow too much during the pandemic because we couldn't really meet very many people. So the Zoom idea was a great one." And a lot of people were doing it for a while.
Absolutely. Well, I remember meeting Jeremy. I think it was at a walk to end Alzheimer's, kind of a meeting put together by Nicole Cowley that was, just kind of revving up for the big event. And I met Jeremy in a meeting that had a bunch of people that were involved in it. And we connected, and then you just kind of laid the rest of that story out there a little bit too. So I love that. Absolutely love that. Okay, so let's also educate the audience about First Light Home Care and Dr. Deborah. Maybe you can give us the bird's eye view of how you're making the world a better place, and maybe, how you're doing it even differently than other folks that might be in your space.
Okay, well, I never thought I would be doing home care, but I used to be an educator. I used to teach high school and college, and I decided after losing one position, which was a faculty development instructor, and it was due to low enrollment, and they had to eliminate someone, so it had to be me. But I was still working adjunct and doing other teaching jobs, but I was kind of getting bored just teaching for 6 online colleges and being on a computer all day. So I ended up in a webinar about franchising, learned about different companies, and then somehow the lady said, "Well, maybe you could do," and I don't want to put down Care Patrol or anything. And I said, "What's that?" She said, "You put people in nursing homes." And I thought, "Oh no, I don't want to do that." So, I mean, really that the way she put it made it sound bad, but technically, that's, some people do need to be in facilities because they just don't have the family support or the other resources. So anyway, she said, "Oh, what about home care?" And I said, "What is that?" So I did some research and I chose First Light, and I'm so glad I did because of the amount of training, the amount of support, ongoing support. We have, peer review groups every quarter. We have a regional conference. We have a yearly big conference for everybody. And there's always somebody to learn from. I know owners from all over the country, and there are probably, I think the last number I heard was 258 franchises now. And I own two of them. I opened my Lansing office first in Okemos. It's First Light Home Care Greater Lansing though. And I opened that 9 years ago in March. So we're almost to March. So I can say 9 years pretty much. And then I opened the other one in Howell. We were already covering some stuff in Howell, like some community mental health clients. So we expanded and went to Howell. And that's been about, I would say, 5 years I've had that office now. And then I also had a Livonia office, but it was too much traveling and I didn't feel like I could have good quality care by going everywhere. So First Light Home Care provides non-medical in-home care to people who need assistance with their activities of daily living. We also, so that can include anything from like helping people get out of bed, get dressed, take a shower, help with meal prep, feeding them, transferring from the wheelchair to the bed, transferring from the wheelchair to the chair, things that some people can't handle, you know, because they're older, the spouse may not be able to handle that. So we go in, we also take people to appointments. We run errands for them. We do their grocery shopping. We also do cleaning, laundry, anything that's non-medical so that they can stay safe in their own home. The other thing that we do is we do a lot of dementia care. So we work with clients who have dementia. Every one of our caregivers is trained in dementia training, Parkinson's training, CPR and first aid. So the educator still comes out in me because I feel like everybody still needs to learn something new, including myself. So, but currently we have, I would say, around 70 clients and about the same number of caregivers, somewhere between 60 and 70. So we have grown quite a bit in the past year. Last year was a phenomenal year. It was our best year ever. We went from 700 hours a week to hitting almost 2,000. And we're right around 1,500 now. And that's way better than 700. It's not where I want to be, but we're still trying to grow and help more people.
So let me ask you this. What do you think might have been one of your biggest learning lessons over the last, let's say, 3 years that have made it so last year you had such growth? What was kind of the things that was going on that made that happen for you? Obviously, I can attest, I know you are all in your business 100%. I mean, you're really a kind of I mean, I just want to say I'm always kind of amazed to all of the different conferences you go to, all the additional education that you receive. I'm so glad to hear about the franchise support you receive as well too. But what do you think what was the big difference that made this growth happen?
I think there were two things, maybe three, but the main thing, we started being able to track more. So things that were harder to track included the supervisory visits, the meet and greets, the follow-up phone calls. And that's all been happening because we started using another Caerusnet system called DDM. So Clark Keller is wonderful. He's helped us manage that. And I feel like automating some things helped a lot. So we have automation for, well, when we get a referral, let's say from agingcare.com, they automatically get an email and a text within a minute. So we're on top of their mind, number one. But also, if we get it, we're all really busy. We might not be able to call within the first 7 seconds. So we can call usually within 5 minutes, but it's kind of a competition to who can call first or reach out the quickest. So that kind of helps us. It also has helped us with our quality of care because we can assign people tasks in our WellSky system as well, which after 30 days, we do a meeting, or after the first shift, we call and make sure the client's happy. We call weekly, then we call monthly, and then we do supervisory visits on our caregivers. And so it helps us a lot. And with a lot of our training, we've put that in the DDM system. so that, we have the dementia training, and then to verify that they have actually done the training, they have a quiz that I developed with the use of AI, of course, that helps me to get things done quicker. So, and the other way that we've used it is for posting to social media. And so again, there's so many ways that AI can be used to help promote a business, as well as make it more efficient to look at your goals. It reads my balance sheets and KPIs and everything and tells me what I need to work on. The AI does. So I'm just kind of like a computer geek too, because I used to teach computer science. So I never stop trying to learn something new.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing all of that. And yeah, I'm the same way. I recognize that when people are coming to you, it's because they're feeling a pain or they're curious about something right then and there at that time. But it can be very easy for a person to get distracted and move on to the next thing that they're not happy with, or if they don't hear from somebody quickly enough, they want an answer now. So I think by responding quickly, as well as having all of those quality assurance points, I think is a tremendous accomplishment to have. And it's probably one of the reasons too, is when people are getting that kind of follow-up from your company, they really understand that they're serious about wanting to do good work for us because they're constantly inquiring, what else can we do? How are we doing? And just think that's so
Mhm.
huge. You had a big milestone that happened in the first quarter of this year. You wrote your own book. Why don't you show us this book and give us
Mhm.
a heads up? This is called AI Care Command, and this will be in the show notes, the Amazon ordering link for this. So, Dr. Deborah, give us the high level about this book, and I also understand there might be a couple CirrusNet members mentioned in there as well too.
Yes, there are. So, AI Care Command is the name of the book, and I have used AI with prompts to develop a lot of my systems as well as build my business. But it shows how a home care agency or anybody who hires a lot of people can have AI used to improve your business, not just like throw random stuff out there, because really, you need a theme. Like if you're posting social media, what's your theme for the month? What do you want to accomplish? Who do you want to reach out to? And then with, of course, Clark's system, it automates those postings. So I'll spend 2 hours on a Saturday and then have all my postings done for the month. So I'm pretty like I've done like everything in the book is how I have used AI specifically to improve the quality of our care, and a lot of it is the follow-up and making sure that people are following up. And for example, just everything that I feel like how we grew tremendously too had a lot to do with me hiring my friend who did hiring. But without that, we use AI for that too, or to develop better job descriptions that get more clicks. So we've also used it for scheduling, interviews and eliminating people that we would never want to interview to begin with because maybe they don't have the transportation to get to work or they can't pass a background check or things like that. So there's a lot of different ways that I have used it, and I share examples in the book as well, like how you would go about doing it. Here's an example prompt that might work for you. It also can search for referral sources in your area. So I've used that as well. And the two people in the book that I gave thanks to were Clark Keller for starting me out in DDM and a little bit of AI from him as well. But I've kind of gone above and beyond and done a lot of training in the last year. But he and I get to talking about AI and we get excited. So, and then Tom Hamp, who is a business coach, I worked with him for a couple of years, And it was good to have someone to talk to every couple of weeks to see where we're at and what steps need to be taken to get to the next level. And based on that, I now am always doing that in my team meetings. This is how many hours we have. These are KPIs. What are you going to do to make sure that we get your tasks are complete, but also that you're meeting all of our goals. So we have bigger goals this year, and I'm hoping we can make that big of a jump, but we'll just have to wait and see. I'm happy we started out way higher in hours than we did last year, so I'm confident that we can get to that.
Yeah, very exciting stuff. And and of course, in your situation too, we're in an aging economy right now. Really, it's more and more people as time moves forward are going to need alternative ways of help. And I think that being at this point in time in history, you're getting everything laid, all the tracks are laid, everything's being perfected. So all you have to do really is scale. As long as you're able to provide that high level of service, I think the sky's the limit, really, Dr. Deborah, for how many people you can help. And that's got to be very exciting. Let me ask you this question now. We've got a couple more questions. First question that I've got for you is there a success story or something positive, a positive takeaway that you can share with the audience regarding your experience being on the Tuesday 8 o'clock Brighton team, which obviously you've seen we've grown quite a bit over this last year. It's pretty exciting.
It sure is. Well, I actually enjoy meeting all of the CRTS members at the Referral Topia and everything. I've actually worked with another home care person, and we've talked and had coffee. So we're not in competition with each other because we all know nobody can do everything or cover everywhere. So I've given her referrals, and she has given me a referral before, but I would say, meeting Clark has to be like it's changed a lot of how we handle things. And I think anybody that has a business with a lot of people, in order to maintain good quality and have it manageable and not being totally stressed out, you need to have some kind of system to monitor things and do some of the work for you.
Absolutely.
And there are so many different things that we could still add, like I need to still train an answering service to take calls and put things on my schedule, which is possible now with AI. So that's one of the things I need to do yet. But there's just so many good takeaways from working with him, and he's so positive in everything he does. So, and he
Yeah,
looks out for people like I do.
I'm with you. Clark he's what you call a keeper. He's somebody
Mm-hmm.
you just kind of hang on to because you're right. He always has a great attitude. And for those that are viewing or listening this podcast, DDM is data-driven marketing, and that's Clark Keller. He's also a member of the Tuesday 8 o'clock Caerusnet Brighton team, text message marketing, email marketing, automation, AI. He's been playing in that box for most of his adult life, and he doesn't look like he's lost any sense of curiosity at all. So we love you, Clark. So here's the last question for you. So now that you've got a few years of being on a structured referral team like CirrusNet, we're different than BNI, or we're different than just your regular coffee clutch of people just getting together casually. What would you say to a new member just getting started out in CirrusNet? What would be the best advice that you would give them as they approach their first year of membership?
I would say do more trust builders, even if they're Zooms. I think getting to know people and more about their business so that you can refer to them more. That's the best way, because what goes around comes around. That's been my saying forever. It's my favorite saying in the world. What goes around comes around. It may not come from that person, but if you do something nice for somebody, someday when you need it, something good is going to happen to you. So, and I've always lived my life like that. I like to help people. That's why I love what I do. I don't even feel like this is a job, and I work it probably 12 to 16 hours a day, but I don't feel like it is a job unless it's payroll. But other than that, I'm good with what I do. It's just I really enjoy going to people's homes, meeting them, finding out people have been married 70 years or whatever. They've lived in the same home 50, how they got together, what jobs they had. Like I know so much about these people when I get to meet them, and then I have all these friends. I count them as friends because I go visit them when I get a chance. Some I wish I could visit more, but when you have 70 people, it's hard to meet with everyone all the time. So, but there are a few of my, people that we've really had a good connection, and I reach out to them as much as I can.
Well,
So,
you mentioned in the services, helping dementia care. I lost my dad to Alzheimer's a little over a year ago. And at the celebration of his life were a couple ladies there that I didn't recognize. And they were the people that were coming to the house and helping out,
mm,
doing this and that, and really loved my dad and my stepmom. And they were just the nicest people. And so I can tell by how you look at what you're doing, that sentimental role that you have, right? You can see that you're making friends. These people aren't washed up and used and over with. They matter. They really matter. They've got families. They've got people that care about them. So I really commend your work. I know how valuable it is to the families. Congratulations on your book. Congratulations on having your best year ever last year. But hey, I got a feeling it's going to be as good or better this year, Dr. Deborah.
I sure hope so. I'm excited for the year. We just purchased a second office in Okemos too, across the hall. And it's amazing how much more efficient we are having more space. Just having a great work environment is a good thing as well. So that's one
Absolutely.
thing I've learned, because having 6 people in 3 rooms just does not do it when you have the phone ringing off the wall and you can't hear over here because someone else is talking. But our phones go 24/7, and we usually, we answer them. That unlike some companies, we answer them, and then we do have an answering service, but we'll call right back if somebody's looking for services or if they need something. We're gonna call back within, a reasonable amount of time. So
Okay, well, we've heard a wonderful story by somebody who doesn't feel like they work, even though they're working 12 to 16 hours a day. When you love what you do and you're excited about your future, that energy just fills you up and takes you away. So, Dr. Deborah from First Light Home Care, thanks for being on the CRTS podcast.
thank you again for having me.